Hello and welcome to the Loan Officer Wealth Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Johnstone, and I have an incredible offer for you today. What we've done is we've taken the 10 most profitable methods to grow your mortgage business that we have learned from interviewing the producers on this podcast, many of whom are doing over $100 million in volume per year. And we've packaged them together into a condensed 45-minute training where you get to learn the 10 most successful and profitable activities that you should be running in your mortgage business. Then we show you how to automate those processes with people and systems so that they run and continue to produce loan applications and new partners that want to send you business pre-booked into your calendar without you having to do any cold calls or chasing or really any work. It's a blueprint for you to be able to produce more in your business while actually working less. And you can go get that training today for free at chriswebinar.com. That's chriswebinar.com. So make sure you head over there today, grab that training for free, and make sure that you watch it, because the sooner you get started on implementing these strategies, the sooner you can see results and continue to grow your mortgage business. Thank you again for being here with us for this episode, and enjoy another one on the Loan Officer Wealth Podcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Loan Officer Wealth Podcast. We are here with Mike Fawaz from Rocket Mortgage. Mike, thank you so much for being on this show. It's great to have you.
Hey, Chris, I'm actually smiling. You have a podcast voice. I love that. Before we got on, it's different than now. You have a podcast voice. I got to work on the Fawaz voice. I love that. Thanks for having me, my friend.
It's my pleasure. And it's only for the first 15 seconds, and then I go squeaky
Can
after
we go
that.
back?
So,
All right,
yeah,
good.
that's
All right.
it. So we peaked. I'm sorry to all the listeners. Right on. So, well, Mike, just so everybody can get to know you, can you tell us like your role at Rocket Mortgage, how you got there, how you got into the mortgage industry? Tell us a little bit about you and your story.
Yeah, sure. So I'm a senior vice president at Rocket Pro TPO.
Okay.
We're part of Rocket Mortgage, but we're the wholesale side of Rocket Mortgage. I've been with the company now for 12 years. Um, I'll tell you, prior to Rocket, I was in real estate for a little bit. But in the last 12 years, I've spent my time with the family of companies, and it's been a great journey. I started as a loan myself on the retail side. I was a banker for about a year and a half. Then I became a leader. Then I ran a team on the refinance side for about 5 years. And about,
Wow.
call it almost 5.5 years ago, 2017, I was asked myself and Austin Emick to come over on the wholesale side and start our very first Detroit team. We've owned QLMS back then, now Rock Pro TPO, for about 10 years. And we've never had any presence in Detroit. The team was ran out of North Carolina. We still have an office there. I still have a sales team there as well. But we made a decision that we're going to have a sales team also close to our headquarters, which is in Detroit. So about 5 years ago, 5.5 years ago, when we started, we had 6 individuals, 6 sales team members in Detroit. Myself and Austin are part of the 6. And at that time, I believe QLMS back then, we're doing about 7 billion in business on a yearly basis. And we touched almost 120 last year.
Wow.
And we went from 6 to hundreds of folks. So it's been
That
an
is,
interesting 5 years.
yeah, I've all of that in 5 years. That is phenomenal. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
So I know in the mortgage space, when people think Rocket Mortgage, they think direct to market, they
Yeah.
think, advertising behemoth. I know you guys do a ton of business on the wholesale side of things, but that's not typically what people think of when they think about Rocket Mortgage. So can you expand a little bit more about how your model is different, how you approach the market, and really what TPO is and what it offers?
Yeah, great question. So look, TPO is just a wholesale lender. So we offer services to our broker partners across the country. Um, I believe, in my opinion, the best part about TPO is Rocket Mortgage. And
Okay.
the reason why is because that brand recognition, you talked about the marketing and how much we do, that brand recognition helps our broker partners when they're speaking to clients. very often when I speak to broker partners and we talk about like, hey, how's business? And the very first thing they say, hey, listen, you make my job easier. Every time I speak to one of my clients, all I have to tell them is like, I'm partnered with Rocket Mortgage, and everyone know who Rocket Mortgage is. So we
Right.
offer wholesale business. We basically underwrite, fund the loan for our partners, our broker partners. It's across the country. But we try to bring everything that we do very well on the Rocket side, technology, product, a strong foundation, and give it to our broker partners. Like I mentioned, in 2017, TPO did five to, I believe it was like almost 7 billion in business. We touched 120, 130 billion, and we continue to grow every single year. It's because we were able to take everything that we've done or we're doing on the Rocket side, the retail side, and give it to our broker partners. And that those are some of the things that our broker partners enjoy. It's the technology. I mean, we all know how Rocket is when it comes to technology. It's the marketing, it's the product, all these services, it's the experience. 37 years of experience. When you're speaking to our underwriters or operations teams, you're speaking to experienced underwriters that's been doing this for 10, 15 years. When you're working with our closing team, you're working with experienced closing folks that have been doing it for 5, 6, 7 years. So we took everything we've done really good for the last 37 years on the retail side and given it to our broker partners. And we continue to do so every day.
That is amazing. So the for our loan officers that are listening that aren't maybe necessarily brokers,
Yeah.
I think they would be very interested in how you approach the technology side of the relationship. Like, what do you provide, and how could they potentially, take away from that? Like, how are you going to direct to market to help your brokers just go out and get that retail customer?
Yeah, look, I often say like I had a meeting earlier today with one of our broker partners in Tennessee, and we were talking about the role of him as a broker owner and what he needs to do to continue to grow. And I often say that hey, as a broker owner, you need to be expert at two things. One is marketing, and two is technology.
Mm,
If you're an expert at technology and you're really good at marketing, this is all it is. Like you don't need to sell in our world. A lot of folks think like, hey, if you're a mortgage LO or you're a loan officer, you need to sell. You have to have sales skill. In my opinion, you don't have to have that. You need to be genuine and you need to just make sure you're taking care of the client and you can go out there and obtain business. But what you really need is the ability to market at a very high level and the ability to work with technology. So most of our brokers, our top brokers that do this at a very high level, they're very good at technology. They utilize all the tools that we provide to them, our portal, our Pathfinder. We have, and I'm not sure if your listeners know about this, but we have a tool called Pathfinder. We consider this the Google of mortgages. It's actually powered by Google. We're in partnership with Google. You literally go on that site, Pathfinder, type anything you want, and that information is available at your fingertips within seconds. And every single page on those and that Pathfinder has income calculators. It's got gadgets that helps an LO. So if you're an LO that you're interested in growing your business, you got to know that website in and out. You got to work with these tools and you got to know your product. So that's number one, being good at technology. And number two, you got to be a marketer. You got to get creative. You got to be able to go out there and think about things that no one else think about, whether it's social media, whether it's literally reaching out to realtors that you've never met in your life and share their listings on Facebook. Like literally grab a realtor social listing and just reshare it on Facebook, create that connection, create videos, go out there. You want to recruit realtors, utilize the marketing tools that are available. There's hundreds of sites that will help you create a video of a listing for a real estate agent that you've never met in your life. You go on NMLS or whatever it is, and you grab or realtor.com, whatever it is, grab the photos, create a quick video. It'll take you 2 minutes. Put the realtor picture on it, and send it to them. Say, hey, my name is Mike Fawaz. Chris, I have a gift for you. I saw your listing on 123 Main. It's an incredible listing. I made a video for you. I promise you're going to share it. And you're going to start thinking, who the hell is this Mike Fawaz? Why did he just create that video for me? And oh, do I need to call him? Let's connect. He's creative. Marketing. Let's
Hmm.
A lot of people still think when I say marketing, mailers. I mean, look, there was time and day for mailers, not today, right? Social media, taking advantage of the technology and really, really be creative. Be creative and genuine.
Absolutely. And so you get to speak to a lot of top producers. So when you're having those conversations, where does the majority of their business come from? Where do you find that your top producers are getting the majority of their business from?
Yeah, good question. Look, you're either a purchase shop
Hmm.
or a refinance shop right
Hmm.
now. So
Interesting.
it is.
Yeah.
In as much as we know that our loans and brokers are trying to switch to the purchase model, which they should, because that's look, your purchase model. If I was a broker, if I went to start my own brokerage tomorrow, I would love to see my business be 60 to 70% purchase and 30% refinance. Not because the market changed today. At all times, it should be like that because the purchase business is the guaranteed business every single month. The refinance, in my opinion, is just a cherry in the top. Like, let's not, but that's not what it is out there. You have shops that are either doing a lot of purchase, and these are shops that have built relationships with realtors, relationships for the last 3 4 years, not when everyone else were busy, including ourselves, doing refinance and we ignored calling realtors or not talk to realtors.
Yep.
Or you have the refinance shops today, and those shops are working on leads, and most of it's all credit triggers. I see a lot of brokers that are working credit triggers today.
Hmm.
um, Clearly credit triggers are the clients that are out there shopping. They've had their credit pulled, they've spoken to a lender, so brokers are walking into these conversations saying, "Hey, I know you're looking to refinance. Are you? I know you're looking into a mortgage. I can offer you service." So one of two ways: you're either a purchase lender and a lot of brokers, a lot of purchase folks, or you're a refinance shop and you're working a lot of triggers right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So refi mainly triggers, and on the purchase side,
Yeah.
mainly referral relationships.
Yes, sir. I see a lot of that.
Very good. Okay. And so for all of our listeners, there was a golden tidbit layered in there that we kind of skipped over. And that's the fact that credit pulls are a huge part of the industry right now.
Oh yeah.
And it's very important for you to understand that even when you have a past client, or even when you've got a really solid lead from a realtor, as soon as you pull that credit and that customer enters that ecosystem, you best believe you've got to have your weekly updates going out to your pre-approvals so that you can answer any questions that they have, so that you can be there for the service. Don't just bring your pre-approvals in, get them pre-approved, and then let them off into the ether of the market, because they're going to get inundated with people that have strong, compelling offers, and they're very good at converting those leads. So you got to win on relationship when it comes to getting all the way to that pre-approval.
I'd like to add to that. Look, the credit trigger world is a very, very crowded space today.
Yes.
To your point, the moment you're working, let's say you're working with your brother and you have that relationship, your brother is going to get hundreds of calls. It's a crowded market today, it's a crowded space. So, yes, follow up is key. How often are you following up? How often are you staying in touch? Visibility, communication is key in this market today. If you're not communicating at a very high level, if you're not following up, I promise you someone else is. So you got to protect your book of business. You got to protect your client and you got to put in the work. It is not easy. We all know this. Our business isn't easy, but right now it's harder than it used to be because you got to put in that work. There's so much competition out there. That pie is shrinking. Everybody wants to produce. Every single person that's out there want to pay their bills, and they're getting creative, and we're all getting creative. But at the end of the day, if you're in LO, you're protecting that pie. You're protecting your book of business by being giving visibility, communicating, and really being out there with your clients. You shouldn't lose. But follow up is key to your point. So good tip
Go.
from
Absolutely. And, communicate and visibility, two incredibly powerful phrases that you drop there. And one of the things that we do for our clients is we make the phone calls that everybody know they should be making, but they don't. So we call their past clients and keep that relationship going. We book appointments with realtors, but one of the other calls that our concierge makes is to the pre-approved and lookings. And so we feel we've got a really good handle on making sure that we bring the business in, We retain the business when we get it, but then there's this whole other world of visibility. And that leads to social media. You know, the average user in today's world spends like 42 minutes on YouTube. We've got all kinds of incredible statistics about how social media is just taking over. And Mike, you do a phenomenal job with your social media content. Um, and so let's dive into that a little bit because your visibility is fantastic. And I think our listeners can get a lot of knowledge and value from that conversation.
Yeah, so you might be surprised when I share this with you. I'm actually not an outgoing social media person. This is not my world. This isn't like something that I enjoy. I've
Hmm.
always been the guy that didn't want to post stuff on social media or didn't want to do things outside of my comfort zone. So social media isn't like, it's really not my comfort zone at all. But look, you evolve, you
Hmm.
change, you learn, and hopefully you're paying attention to where the business is at and what's happening in the world. And if you want to grow, you got to make changes and you got to get out of your comfort zone. So when I tell you, yes, I myself and my team, there's a video that gets posted every single day, Monday to Friday. I believe we've been doing those videos since April 2nd. So every single day, not a day missed, we post a video. It takes time to record these videos. It takes time to work on content. It takes time to figure out what you're going to post. But it's not just videos, it's out there in speaking engagements and getting in front of folks. We were just in Washington. There's so much things that we do on social media today that is completely out of Mike Fawaz's comfort zone. Like, I'm not comfortable doing that. But I understand that there's a need and I get it, and now I'm seeing it. Like, I walk into trade shows and people walk up to me and says, hey Fawaz, and I'm like, I'm do you know me? And they're like, yeah, we watch your videos. And not just like folks in the industry, folks outside of it. I was literally at the grocery store and someone walked up to me and says, we watch your videos, you're on my TikTok every day. And it's just, and if you want, if you're an LO right now listening or you're a realtor, think about it. A 2 minutes video every single day for the last 6 months, and you get all these people that recognition. It's out there and it's free. It is free. You can do it. Anyone can. As a matter of fact, I'm telling you right now, all your listeners, be my guest, watch my videos, and create this, take that content and make it your own. And it's an open invitation. You should. I don't understand why people don't do that often. Take that content. You don't have to get creative with content. Take the same content and just spin it and make it your own. And feel free to shoot these videos. Be out there. It is the world that we live in today.
Oh,
It's our
absolutely.
living rooms. It is our living room, our family room 20 years ago, where we all met, we sat down. Social media, Instagram, Facebook, that is our new living room. That is our new family room. This is where we meet. This is where we sit. This is where we drink coffee together. It's through social media. This is how we meet people. So the more you embrace it, the more you take advantage of it, the rewards are amazing. I mean, they are. You get recognition and people start to know. And look, I want to add one thing. Social media also gives you credibility. Okay.
Yes.
Social media also gives you the ability to go out there to realtors, say, hey, I have a huge following. So if we're working together, I'm gonna get you listings, more viewings. I'm gonna get I'm gonna get you more clients because I have a huge I've built that network that I will allow you as my partner to tap into.
Absolutely, 100%. And so we're helping loan officers right now do webinars with realtors. And so
Great.
you go to a realtor and it's like, hey, let's promote a webinar together. And they go to your Instagram and you've got 10 followers. It's like, well, you know,
Yeah, who's gonna
what's on your
watch
side
that?
of the table?
Yes.
You know, there is that social credit that you can bring to it. And I can tell you right now, a lot of people hide behind their social media like this is just for my kids or it's just for my friends or it's just for this or that. But I can tell you the algorithms are now so advanced that if you take a pre-approval from a client and you add them to your Facebook and they become your Facebook friend and you add them to your Instagram because you're looking at that as a business channel, when Facebook sees that connection, they understand that relationship frequency is an actual thing. So when you connect with somebody on social and you start posting your content, and if they engage even once, you're in their feed for 30 to 60 days as your content evolves. Well, that's your buyer journey. That's getting them through the approval process. That's getting them to the end of the transaction and building that relationship. So it's super important to not only look at like, yeah, I take these people and I put them in my database, but the database has evolved. Just like you said, Mike, it's the living room. Like stuffing people in your email database.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll put a challenge out there. If you're an LO and you're helping a family, are you connecting with every single family member on social media?
Mm-hmm.
Are you? I'm telling you right now, most even kids have social media. Those are your future clients. Are you
Yep.
connecting with those families? Are you building those relationships? I know a lot of times when you're taught in the retail world or just in our world as mortgage professionals to always ask for referrals. Hey, I know I just did an incredible job for you, Chris. I'm sure you know a couple of people that own mortgages or own a home. Can you please tell me who should I call? And we ask for it, but I challenge you to do the opposite. Hey, who should I add on my social media? How many names do you know that I can add? Your friends. Add them. Build that network. Continue to build that network because these are your future clients.
Yeah, it's so true. And we're seeing that right now inside private groups. So people will go into a local private group, local buy and sell groups on Facebook. Hey, who's
Yeah.
the best realtor in town? A, you
Yes.
should be in that group and you should be recommending your referral partners. But B,
That
your clients should be in those groups referring you.
Why aren't you creating those groups too? Like create a group, and you run with it, and you start adding people and add more. Don't. It's not just for you. Add your competition. Add
Yep.
couple of those. Add realtors. Add them all, and provide that service. What's holding you back? You can create a group on Facebook in 2 minutes today.
Yeah, it's so true. Now, my content every day, 5 days a week. That, I mean, I know you put some people back in their chairs with that statement, and when they see it and how good it is, I think they're going to be really impressed. How do you come up with all of your content ideas?
It's a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie. It's a lot of work. I do lean a lot on the team. Like we have Rachel in the room here. She's my social media producer. So we talk about it. I have my assistant Allison in the room. She also helps out. Everyone around me knows that, hey, I'm always asking, hey, what do you think my next Hey Fawaz should be? I'm
Mhm.
always soliciting, always going out there asking folks about things that they think they want to hear about. I ask our broker partners. Often I'll get ideas like emails from broker partners. Hey, you should record a Hey Fawaz on this. In fact, I believe someone just reached out on the broker directory that we posted today. So again, it is not easy to create a content. And look, I know it's a 1 minute video or a minute and a half or 2 minutes max, right? That 1 minute video takes a lot of work to create. That video is not just like, hey, we just created. No, work. What do you want to say? The message you want to deliver. So yes, it's a lot of content. Uh, it takes work, but that's just part of the consistency and dedication. Uh, if you want to continue growing your social media presence, and if you want to continue growing your following, and you want to make sure that you have followers and you have these communities that you're working with, you got to do that. And so I spend a lot of time on the weekend thinking about it. A lot of time during the week as well. Like I always have a chat open where we're adding stuff to it. Um, Whatever we hear out there, like if there's something new, like right now, we just had the Fed meeting, so I most likely will do a Hey Fawaz tomorrow in regards to where the market is at.
Yep,
Yeah,
absolutely. And those things. So we had Barry Habib on the show, and he was talking about MBS Highway and how
very
like
good friend of mine.
yeah, and he's phenomenal. And he's delivering you a snippet a day
Yeah,
inside your inbox. When you're in your conversations with your clients and you get that client that sits down at the desk and asks you that really good question, boom, write it down. They step out of the office, up goes the cell phone. Hey, I just had a great question.
yep,
And there's your Hey Fawaz.
yes, sir. I mean, look, there's a lot of message, there's a lot of content. You just got to take the time to put it together. You got to take the time to really uh, give it give it your all to be able to come up with all this information. I mean, since April, I believe like it's April 2nd, we started recording these videos, and there's a lot of them out there. And then you want to try to recycle, like, hey, did I deliver this message already? How do I deliver it another way? How do I make sure that now it sticks with our viewers versus the way we delivered it? You're always watching, you're always trying to get better.
Absolutely. Now, are you repurposing your content and putting it on YouTube as well?
We only, I believe, I'm looking at Rachel, our content is on YouTube. Only our podcasts are on YouTube. So we
Podcast.
utilize Instagram. We do a lot on Instagram, a lot on Facebook, and I believe we're on Twitter and TikTok as well. Not much on YouTube, although we can really grab all these videos and put them in that channel. We have a channel. So maybe we'll take your advice and we'll add all our videos on YouTube. We
Second
should.
largest search engine in the world.
Yeah.
And so, it's funny. We've got a client of ours who does cabin financing. Well, I mean, he calls them cabins, but they're people that are, buying lakefront in a very specific community, tearing the cabins down and building these multi-million-dollar lake houses. But he's got that market completely cornered because he started with video marketing 2 years ago. And now, when you use any of those keywords or you use any of that, his videos not only show up on YouTube, they're on the front page of Google too.
Yeah, that's amazing. It is the power of marketing, the power of social media, my friend.
Absolutely. So coming back to the power of brand and the power of marketing. So being in your seat that you sit at Rocket Mortgage, do you think that there's a benefit to somebody who takes that media approach but also puts the brand behind it? Or do you think that just that personal brand is enough to really build a good social media following locally?
Look, it depends on the brand, right? Is the brand strong? Uh, I know that this is going to sound like, hey, it's a one-sided opinion because I work at Rocket, but I believe all of our listeners here know that Rocket is the number one mortgage company out there, and everyone knows that brand. So if you are partnered with Rocket, I would highly recommend you utilizing that brand as well as your personal brand. Because look, at the end of the day, a consumer is going to work with they want to work with a reputable company and they want to work with someone that has good reputation as well, their personal brand. So I think both are important if you're able to do both. But if you're not partnered with Rocket, because not everyone is partnered with Rocket, and you partnered with another wholesale lender that is not known out there, yeah, because real talk, our space is very small. We know who's out there from a wholesale lender standpoint. And if you're not partnered with Rocket, and you get on the phone and you speak to a client, say you're partnered with this other wholesale lender, 99% of the time, your client's going to say, I've never heard of them. That's just the reality. So if you're one of those, and there's a lot of partners that don't do business with us, you should absolutely, absolutely focus on your brand. Focus on your reputation, and really, really work on your reviews. Make sure that you're utilizing reviews every time you close. If I was at a law out there, every single closing I will attend, and every single closing I will record a video with that client, the buyer and seller, or it's just a homeowner. If I'm doing a refinance, and record a video, talk about the service, and I would flood the market with those videos because again, that creates that following, that creates that algorithm to recognize who you are and start putting that information and that feed in front of thousands of people.
Absolutely. Well, hey, Fawaz, if people want to get a hold of you and they want to, there's brokers listening to this and they want more information, how do people reach out to you? I know they can find you on social, but what's
Yes.
the best way for people to reach
I'll
out?
do two things. So you can follow me on social. I'll just give you my Instagram handle, and then you can just see all my other stuff. It's at Mike H Fawaz, Mike MikehFawaz. That's on Instagram. Follow me, watch my videos. Please feel free to take the content, make it your own. You don't even have to message me. It's open. Do whatever you want to do with it. Or you can absolutely text me directly on my cell number, area code 313-622-2811. I'll be more than happy to answer all your questions, whether you work with us or not, whether you're like Rocket or not. If you just want to talk about business, you want to talk about the mortgage industry, you want to talk about personal things, whatever you want, I am available to you. I often tell people I am in the people's business. I am not in the mortgage business. I'm here to serve people, and I'll be more than happy to take calls all day long.
That is absolutely beautiful. All of that information is in the show notes underneath the show, folks. So, Mike, thank you so much for being on the show today. Truly appreciate it.
Chris, I appreciate you as well, man. Good show. Had a good time with you, and I appreciate you.
Awesome. And to all of our listeners, don't forget, hit us up on iTunes, hit us with that 5-star rating and review, and don't forget to share your favorite episodes on social media, because the greater exposure we get, the greater incredible guests like Mike that we can get on the show. So thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode. Hey, it's Chris. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope that you enjoyed our guest today on the podcast. This is a reminder that we have just finished taking the greatest lessons from all of our guests and packaging them together into a brief online video presentation that's going to teach you the 10 most profitable ways to grow your mortgage business. And then we show you how to automate those processes in your business with people and systems so that you get the results without you having to do the work every day. This is quite literally a blueprint so that you walk into your mortgage business every day with pre-booked appointments with borrowers that want to meet with you and referral partners that want to send you business, so that you are spending your time inside your mortgage business on the highest dollar per hour activities, and you truly become the executive of your business, a true business owner, rather than just somebody who's going to a job every day and making a wage on the way through. This is an absolutely incredibly powerful training for you, and I cannot wait for you to experience it. So head on over to chriswebinar.com. That's chriswebinar.com to get that free training today. Now, if you could do me another favor, if you enjoyed this episode, please head on over to iTunes, search the Loan Officer Wealth Podcast, and give us a 5-star rating and review, really on any podcast platform that you're watching this on. That just 30 seconds of your time goes to help another loan officer in the industry discover this information and really help put their life and their business on track for more success. We are all in this together, and there is more than enough for all of us in the industry. So I would love if you left us that 5-star rating and review. Don't forget to stay tuned for our next episode, and I'll see you then.